back to the channel. Today, as you can see, we are showcasing the RC10T. Beautiful build, few little gripes with the manual, but we'll run through those. But just at the moment, we can appreciate how cool this has turned out. I did venture away from box art. I've seen a few people building and posting on the forums, and I just figured that, you know, instead of posting up another car that's identical, we'll look at our palette of colours that I had here in Tamiya spray cans, and we'll come up with something that obviously is sort of a little bit unique. Still got that sort of same box art feel with the stripes and the placement of the colours, but just, yeah, put my own little twist on it, and obviously we used some of the retro decals that came with the kit as well. So before we get too far into this one, I just want to put a big shout out to Ace RC Models. That's who sourced the kit for me and posted it over. If you need any RC things, go by all means. Contact Ace RC Models. They sent me some stickers, so that's their website there. You can go and check them out. I paid for the kit. Just want to do a bit of a shout out because they were hard to get here in Australia, even though there are some on eBay at the moment for inflated prices. So once you build the kit, you end up with quite a nice looking truck, as you can see, and with the classic sort of RC10 pan, which is in black. So let's dive into the chassis. Let's have a look and see what we put into it, electronic, motor-wise, and basically run over some of the things that I found quite confusing in the manual. And it was good to see that it wasn't just me. Obviously, after now building this in the last week, you see some more people coming out on forums and other videos on YouTube sort of weigh into the same issues that I had, particularly with the manual. The manual is absolutely terrible, and I kind of feel that Team Associated didn't have anyone build this pre-production and actually do any rectification work. Now, I know in some Tamiya kits, Kyosho kits, you might find a little slip in the manual, rectifying a few steps. So there were a few things missing in the manual. A few things are a little bit misleading in the manual. And I really think that by me building the Clear edition a couple of weeks ago kind of helped me figure a few things out that were in the Clear manual but weren't in this manual, seeing that they are a similar designed car. So let's take the body off, have a look at the chassis. We'll talk about a few of those steps and things that you might need to build, and a few things that you need to buy if you are going to build one of these and want to make it into a runner. Before I show you the chassis, let's take a look at the body here. Now, I'm not really sure if this is coming over on camera too well, but we've got the, it's a newish paint from Tamiya. It's been out for a little while. It's just called Dark Blue. There is no code for it. I laid down some pearl and some Lane Flake, backed it with the Tamiya Blue, so not really sure if that is coming across on the camera. It's quite nice. It's very dull, rainy, and very windy outside, so we can't really get it outside to show you that either. Then painted the bars and the stripes here. That is bright gunmetal, Tamiya spray can paint, cobalt green, and then just white. So the white does have some pearl as well. I think it came together quite nice and definitely works with the minimalistic decals that I put on it as well. Take your time with this one. I usually do rush my bodies, but masking is the key here. Get the lines based off the bumper, and then the bottom, there's a bit of a line on the door as well. So pick your marks and do your masking, and just really take your time. I do obviously darker colors first. I wasn't sure what color I was going to paint here, so I did the white next and then the green. Just make sure that if you do lighter colors, back it in a bright silver, just so you don't get the any other colors show through. And then I always like to back my bodies in black and smoke the windows slightly. That way when you look through the car, you don't see all the different colors. Just a bit of a nicer finish, but you do use a bit of extra paint, so I understand some people out there that don't do it. Now, the first thing I want to bring to your attention is the manual. We'll run through some of the things that I really struggled with, or just ended up doing because I had things left over or things just didn't look right. But the first thing that you want to do, nearly dropped that one, first thing you want to do when you're building this is, for the price point of this kit, think it was about $650 Australian or $659 retail. They obviously were selling for more on eBay. You don't get bearings. Now, a lot of people have, flogged the hell out of Tamiya over the years that you don't have bearings, and we're talking about $100, $200 kits. So you can understand, but when you're paying $650 to $700, depending on where you've bought this from, and the rest of the kit is very, very nice, like the shocks and everything. The plastics, I can't really fault it, but you just get plain bushings in the kit. I know that's probably what it came with years ago, but wouldn't cost much to pop that in. But in luck, because we do have a 10% off discount code with Plague Bearings, so RC Action, head over to plague.com.au. I purchase all my bearings through them, so this one's purely just a discount code for the viewers. And what not better car to get yourself a better set of bearings, or any project that you're working with. They sell bearings for everything. So, as you can see here, it's quite an easy build, really. If you take away the instruction manuals and a few issues that I'll tell you about, it's actually quite an easy build. You've got this front sort of suspension bulkhead, the rear gearbox bulkhead, and they just bolt to a tub chassis. So very similar to an RC10, obviously that's what it's based on. Now, as you can see, I've gone with a little bit of a different battery tray option there, a Shorty LiPo pack. I don't know where I got that from. Might have been RC Mart. I bought a couple of them a while back. And yeah, figured I'll try that one out. We can put a Shorty pack in there. Just something a little bit different, again, to what everyone else is building. So the first thing that we'll start off with is the turnbuckles. Now, absolutely awful. I kind of feel that the tie rod ends, the tie rods are actually too long for the kit, and you do need to wind the turnbuckles far too long on the shaft. And also in the manual, don't be fooled by the measurements in the manual. Some of the measurements in the manual, if you just pop it down next to the indicators of how long it should be, they're all wrong, and they're incorrect measurements as well, and you'll end up with some pretty crazy sort of toe or camber issues on the car. So if you do have a set of calipers, make sure you use those. Don't go off the manual. And even I think one of them, told you to make them 51 mil. In actual fact, if you put that on the car, it's all wrong, and it was close to about 50 or 49 mil. So the tie rods and the ball cup ends, absolutely shocking. The plastic is like that hard, brittle plastic that you see on the clear, and you will need to just tap the little bit of a thread because it's near on impossible to actually thread the turnbuckles into the ball cup ends. And I do see them being a weakness for running, and I've already seen a few on the forums where people have taken these out and they have snapped. One of the other problems that I found in the manual was the steering. Now, on the Servo Saver up front there is a washer. Now, if you do the nut up the whole way, there's a lot of play in the steering. There is a spare washer, so I chucked that under the nut. Now, there still is some play, so probably, you may need to put another one there if you really wanted to reduce that play, but in the end, I think it's turned out all right. Another thing that'll get you in the manual is the rear dog bones. Yes, dog bones, Tommy Associated, they could have put some universal joints in this day and age. Now, after building the Clear Edition, you do put a spring in the outer wheel cup to help the tension so the dog bone doesn't fall out, because the dog bones, in my opinion, are too short. Nowhere in the manual does it tell you to actually put the spring in there. I just remembered it from the Clear kit. So that was another missing thing in the manual. Obviously, you don't get a pinion gear or any motor screws, so it's okay if you're like me and got lots of parts, but if you are going to build one of these, make sure you go get yourself a 48 pitch pinion gear. Now, the biggest pinion you can put on this is a 27 turn. I ended up going for a 23 turn, so we'll see how that runs with the motor combination that I have got in the kit. What else wasn't very good? In the manual, obviously the original RC10 came with a wider front tyre. The manual still lists the wheel screws as the long ones, so just be careful. I was searching for different length screws. In the end, I figured, well, it must be these ones. So yeah, they didn't update the manual there either, and it was quite odd in the manual that they also referred to some of the rear bulkhead parts as clear. So the same thing that was written in the clear manual. So it's quite obvious to see that this car, like I said in the intro there, probably wasn't pre-production built and reviewed. So maybe Team Associated are putting too much energy into suing people that make better parts for their own cars than really looking at the quality of their own kits. But all in all, once you figure that out, it comes together quite good. And really looking forward to get this one out and run it. The shocks are quite nice. All the plastics are nice. I mean, the threads go in a lot nicer. The only thing that I did need to use is just to tap a little bit into those turnbuckle ball cup ends because they were shocking. But the shocks, probably one of the nicer shocks that I've built in a long time. They go together quite nice. You get some nice big wheels and tyres. So yeah, all in all, once it's together, it does go together quite nice. It's just that there are some issues with the manual. Now, electronics-wise, I was sent a Futaba T4PM controller to try out. So this is the first time that I've really used Futaba radio gear in a build. So it took me a little while to work this one out. And basically, if you haven't used Futaba, definitely after setting this up and taking this for a quick little test run, you can definitely feel the quality, a lot more adjustability. So go down to your local hobby shop and check out the Futaba range. Now this one is quite expensive. You do get a couple of receivers, but definitely to use, the tactile feeling on it and the setup options in this are superior to cheaper variants of remotes. And I know that there are remotes that are far superior than this one. So this one might be a good in-between one to go for. Now we use the Hobbywing 1060 style ESC, and obviously I'm going to use a Shorty LiPo pack with that battery mount system. I put all the electronics at the rear. We've got a JX digital servo. It's quite a quick, reasonable price servo, that one. I know I could have put something totally better in it, but again, this is probably just going to be a nice runner down the park and to enjoy, not so much go racing. Obviously paired it up with the Futaba receiver that comes with the remote, and I went for a 19 turn LRP brushed motor. So I don't mind using brushed motors. These are quite cheap. I think they're around about $40 at your local hobby shop. So all in all, electronics package wise, servo, speed controller and motor, not a lot of money going into that. Definitely just put the money into the remote and receiver. So it'd be interesting to see how superior that is to, say, a Fly Sky and whatnot. So that's the RC10T build. I probably missed heaps of things and frustrations building it. Like I said, the manual's awful, and I really think, Team Associated could have done better. But if you look into the history of Team Associated, they're owned by Thunder Tiger. So I think that's probably where a lot of their quality issues are beginning. But all in all, once you paint it up, once you build it and put the body on, I do believe that you end up with a pretty cool looking RC car. So I'm looking forward to seeing what other people do and build these ones on the internet. Now, be daring, go non-box art, do something different. I always used to like box art and was always afraid of what other people would say and write on forums, but I can honestly say after putting a couple of pictures of this on my Facebook and Instagram page, and also in the community tab on YouTube, I've had nothing but people going, wow, that looks awesome, nice to see a non-box art one, and I've given people inspiration to do something different. So I do challenge you, do something different, do something unique, and don't follow the crowd when you are building your RC cars. But that's it for today's video. Make sure you like and subscribe, chuck a comment down below, catch me on all my other social media. They're in the description down below. Big shout out to Ace RC Models over in Perth, and obviously check out my Plague Bearings webpage, RC Action for 10% off. I'll see you on the next video, guys. Bye.